How did we end up here? The question of many of you in the audience here as LGD strike true, strike fast for a Game 3 now ahead of us here in FPX taking on LGD in Hangzhou. Welcome back to the LPL. My name is Shaky Sterex joined by Brento Raz Mohammed.
I don't know how to explain that type of game, you know?
Yeah, okay. Well, you're going to have to.
Yeah, well, no, I don't.
Okay, fair enough.
You don't tell me what to do. You calm down now.
But you're right. How do you?
You get into moments like those where really, to the core of it, I'll start with the risk that comes into it. Yeah. Aatrox got picked up. They had the counter pick option, or more so they thought that they can deal with the Kennen mid and deal with that. And a large part of that was, you know, they thought they can have the Jax in the top lane matchup, and that was the biggest win for FPX. FPX said, we got the Jax in the top lane matchup. We're doing well on that one. Yep. All you need is, of course, skirmish around mid lane, right? They tried for that. It was looking good. Yeah. In fact, I think we're in a good position to roll those kind of clips.
Yeah, go.
We're just talking about like moments in this series where I felt like it was thrown away. Take a look at this, because this was LGD using key resources, but they flash away from the Kennen ultimate. Of course, Kramer also uses his ultimate to be able to get away from it. And then the sustain consistently being hit, of course, by Yuuki. So he just outright flatly wins the team fight. Gets I think a triple kill off that. Like he would double kill, I mean, and he's just so immensely fed from this point forward. This is the one moment that made you believe that FPX can come back. Take a look at Doinb being able to come in when LWX was so close, near death, gets picked up. Think that he ends up losing his life in what is a Baron buff pushed up. You think they can end up winning the game off it, but obviously humongous Kennen ultimate and a Jax that's just going to chase you down.
You do believe after Kennen got what was an elongated 5-man ulti. I mean, for FPX, good execution of the fight, but it all comes down to one moment. And that one moment was done by LGD.
And I have no idea who picks up that MVP. I'm going to be surprised.
Have a guess and then I'll tell you.
Oh. Yeah, Yuuki.
Throw it up. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
So 100% KP is impressive, but what was most impressive is that first fight we talked about. Is because that's what got LGD off the ground.
Oh, that big brain coach, man. UDJ looks at the list. Aatrox is up. Lock in the champion. Yeah. Pick it in. That on top of it, you're right. The teamfight execution. They were actually smart enough, of course, to play through Yuuki at all times. There was one moment in the game that I was really surprised with LGD there, where Jax rotates up top. They recognize LGD have a numbers disadvantage, but they still continue to like press up and push FPX away from the Baron buff area. They're like, we don't care if we have a man down. We still have teleport, and Aatrox is massively fed. He just needs to proc his ultimate, commit to the fight, and you can't really do too much.
Remember we talked about this earlier in the day in the previous series, where like the ability to control the Baron when you have that triple mountain, when you have that double mountain dragon, and you can actually just go in a bit
wild
and just pressure it because you take it like that.
Yeah. So you just have to be confident with yourself. I'm sure there will be moments where like 50-50 or I don't like the idea with 50-50 because that creates an idea of it being even. If a team is on Baron buff, have it controlled with a control ward, and have someone like a warden, like let's say a support, if it's an engaged support, or a top laner who can pick up a fight and dissuade people, that's no longer a 50-50.
And plus the enemy jungler, if they're lower in level.
Yeah, so it's a 70-30, etc., etc. Like those are fights you should double down on. We saw those moments. One Baron buff almost got smited away, but of course, Quay was able to pick it up for himself.
That's right.
And so they were confident when they had leads. That last, I'm not even going to call it a team fight, the last play in which they just booked it to the Nexus. Those are moments where a team is smart enough and you have enough veteran players to just say, yeah, what are they doing? Yeah. Don't give them the respect. Doesn't matter if they're undefeated. They were able to make the right call at the right time.
And then a top-tier team like FPX, you can sit back and give small amounts of criticism and say, to get back to the base there, indecision as to whether to go for the Elder, to go for the fight, or whether to just press B.
They just flatly didn't know what position enemy team was in. Because think of it in their perspective. If they base, full base, defend, guess who has positioning on Elder Dragon?
That's right.
Then they're going to have to be fighting for position on Elder Dragon against a Baron buff team. There's so much that they had to deal with that I understood. They took a chance, and unfortunately, they lost the race.
That's why I asked questions with you here, Raz. Glad you're here to explain it after what was a confusing second game, but not on the side of LGD. Looked more calm, in control, cohesive as a 5-man unit. And that's what you want to see when you have a brand new jungler on the roster for his first day, his first game of competitive, and it ends like that.
And just imagine it being his first game in general, because a lot of the situation, the circumstances, and I'm just going to ignore that one, though it is pretty damn entertaining. Surrounding the series. The circumstances surrounding this match where Quay was just thrown into the mix. Remember, and I'm just going to put this out there because a lot of people will hear this anyways. Like the fact that it wasn't just Condi being banned. There were a lot of junglers in LGD and their developmental squads. And I'm talking about like specifically, I'm trying to remember his name, Intruder, that also faced that same fate. So they need to bring in a fresh, young talent, someone new, someone that they didn't have in the organization before. Quay came in, right through the doors. I doubt he's had a practice session with them.
And what have we seen out of our young talent? Of course, I'm referencing JJ over in EDG. Our young talent in the LPL are coming up big.
Yeah, because you got to be able to be confident with those type of players that they will fit in your system. I think the LPL is very much similar. I'll say LEC is close to it while we get into pick and ban. Okay. That National Leagues or that's for the LEC or just like LDL and third-party tournaments gives you experience. So I wouldn't be surprised. Of course, this guy's come from other organizations in the past as well, so he has that kind of experience. And
there will be no further roster changes here in this series. Quay stays in the jungle, RD in support, and we continue on to Game 3 to get a resolution of this series. See if LGD can finally defeat FPX, but no! The same thing's been left open and FPX taken.
But the ownership was on LGD of this one.
That's right.
So FPX was able to get the Aatrox themselves. It's going to be on LGD to give me some great counterpick options. Now, I made a mention of Renekton not so long ago. I think the Nico is also a great pick in the mid lane. It will always have that shove through mid. So we need to be able to see and learn the lessons LGD had, because I'm not going to look at this and say, well, LGD made the bad decision, right? Because it has to come to the risk and reward factor. They took this risk, they need to get something out of it.
And on the blue side, you can see FPX have left the Sylas open. So while the Aatrox is a big pick for them, they've also got options to this Sylas. The Aurelia is still there. A lot of flexes there for FPX to take away.
This is another added danger, giving more power picks to FPX and saying we'll pick counter pick options on red side. So they're giving away picks just saying that we have lanes up against it. They better be correct. LGD, you have Game 3 on the line, dog. You can't just be giving them these picks now and then not having an answer. I have faith in UDJ that he'll give me some.
Well, Pyke apparently one part of an answer for now, though, Raz. We see a second game of it from RD, and down bottom it was a lie. It's a 100% win rate still, 3 games as we go into the second ban phase. We're not looking at supports anymore. It's back to the old jungle.
And so jungle, remember, FPX could actually throw the Aatrox in the jungle. So FPX technically have their guise of a counter pick.
True, team played it last split.
One of the harshness of red side is that you don't really truly have counter pick anymore. That while I'm looking towards, let's say, Lies or Yuuki for their pick, that the Aatrox could just be thrown into the jungle and is a pretty damn good jungler. So we'll have to see what it turns into.
So what is a safe jungler to take in when Olaf's gone, when Jarvan, Xinjiao off the board as well? Rek'Sai, the only one left up that you call S tier at the moment.
But we get to see the full composition now from FPX. They got to be able to show me. Remember, we've seen a lot of Caitlyn and Lux compositions, but with Yuumi off the field, you don't have any more, ability to contest the range. So that's something that I would love to see personally.
LWX has the Kai'Sa there.
He's just going to hover this because he's a Vayne player. I don't think he's going to lock it in, but he's got to show people and recognize that I still play this champion, even with Quincy's getting hit.
Don't forget about me. There's the Zaya locked in and the Elise for Tain. Now, Elise we don't see as much as I'd like here in the LPL, but I'm glad to see it on one of our best junglers.
And I like the fact that he locked it in, because he needs to now start supporting his solo laners. If we're going to be seeing LGD starting to lock these lanes in with strong matchups, this is very similar to Game 1. Then Elise starts breaking it up, allowing them to skirmish more often, and challenges the jungle matchup. So I still think Rek'Sai is pretty good into the Elise. It all depends on who gets the first jump on. And I think if it's Elise and Aatrox, I'm willing to, put my backing on that one.
Okay, well, I was going to flip over quickly to LGD, but the answer might already be there. Seeing the Karma locked in last, was thinking, well, is it going to be Karma mid, Karma support? Because RD did play the Pyke in game number 2, but things do change. 8 seconds to get that final answer.
I would expect the Karma to be going top lane. I think that no matter who picks it up, there has been a considerable amount of success with Karma into the Sylas matchup. We'll see what happens when we get into it.
Okay.
I think both lanes are pretty damn good. Both the Nico and Karma can deal with both of them. This comes down to the fact that Karma benefits a lot from having that matchup, can easily proc her Klepto.
And if you're wondering why we're talking Karma top, you know, Nico mid, or vice versa, in this series, top and mid lane has been so interchangeable. Doinb's been top, then mid, then top again, and that's really the same with all 4 solo laners from LGD and FPX alike.
And remember, game 1, we were in this same position before. LGD had great solo lane matchups, and they wanted to keep them. FPX didn't allow it. We're consistently switching, and we're forcing skirmishes that were very uncomfortable for LGD, and they got snowballed. Hard snowballed on. FPX slammed them in a 25-minute venture that seemed like a 20-minute venture. So I think LGD are confident with this kind of style. Theoretically, it works, and they should keep it. I just want to see what ends up happening. It's going to be all on Tain and Doinb to get the job done.
Very different role this time from Kwai as he passes from Trundle to now the Rek'Sai. He has a very big task ahead of him. The carry momentum needs to be on his back, and for LGD, we'll start asking a new question depending on how this goes. Will the Dragon rise, or will it be the Phoenix in the end that sears the competition and remains undefeated? Game 3 of this unsuspecting series, now live on your screens as we go into FPX taking on LGD.
Now, they were banging that drum after game 2 pretty heavily. LGD fans were on the tip of the seat, standing up, banging that drum. Hopefully we get to hear the same sound, because I'm completely, you know, fans out there should get behind teams like LGD.
As we're saying this season, this could be their season to return back to playoffs. And
that's what we asked for.
That's what we were saying as well, but you'd still be asking for it with this new roster. Excited to see Kwai this game on the Rek'Sai. Like I said in Champions, like going into the Elite, the carry potential needs to be there.
Remember, a lot of questions about the competitiveness for a lot of the teams in the LPL. Remember, we're talking about LGD, there's BLG that didn't make playoffs last time, LNG that didn't make playoffs last time as Snake, that's what they were seen as. Suning, all of those teams have gotten so much better now. So it's going to be really on LGD to showcase that similar type of performance and just hope that teams like JDG stay down.
That's right. You only verse one team, or rather you only verse a team once a split. Finally
We're switching. It's switching again.
This happens so fast. GimGoon up to the top lane again with his Silas. Welcome home.
They did not want this matchup. Now we're switching again.
Oh my god. Karma moving up quickly.
This is what get the fans going.
Yeah.
This is the type of stuff that they want to see.
Now Karma's coming up, but hasn't moved just yet. Lies receives the wave. Swap over. Is GimGoon going to stay?
For the developers, the fans out there that's saying, oh, we won't want to see this kind of gameplay. You know, nah!
It's been happening all series long.
It's strategic nirvana. It gets your mind going.
Yeah.
I'm getting a mental workout just looking at this.
Well, Doinb hits the wave. Is he going to move? No, I think he's going to stay here for now, Raz. So we'll see what happens, because Lies takes a brunt of damage, but sticking in the middle of the wave while GimGoon.
Ooh, Klepto.
Yeah, have some more gold.
Ooh, that's what I want. Get me in the lane and don't leave, please. Do not leave.
After all that crisscrossing and that mixed matching, see us even. So, although Yuuki is now in the lane that he wants to be in.
But now ownership is on GimGoon and Doinb to shove these lanes out. That's the whole purpose, right? You need to have consistent shove before you switch right back up. So, going to see if Quay finds a good gank through mid lane. Oh my god, we've already got movement.
Oh, D, doing exactly what Chris has been doing for the rest of the series. Kwai coming in the mid lane. Doinb has both summoners available. Spotted out. Ping's going down.
All right. He's pretty safe, though. Remember, they're just kind of hoping that he ease straight in to get a trade off on Lies at all.
Yep.
But he's pretty aware of the fact that the support in the bottom side of the map is just not there. So playing it out smartly.
Doinb not losing too much in this lane, despite what we're expecting about the matchup. So Lies going to keep pushing in, and Doinb now going to sit at turret. But
take a look at GimGoon, though.
Yep.
Because GimGoon's got the first shove here. Doesn't know exactly where Kramer is, but once Kramer shows on top side, he has the ability to now rotate towards the mid lane and give some assistance to Doinb so they can make the switch right back up. That's if they want to do that. I think it's in the best interest.
But what you see here is Tain in the top side getting control. This can enable it so much more.
See, I mean, really comes down to where... Oh, actually.
Wondering if Lies is going to move. Well, not at the moment. The Cocoon lands. Instant flash from Lies.
Yeah, well done. It gives Doinb his shove out. This is your opportunity. You see Silas already moving towards the mid lane, as I mentioned. Got that top lane shove. Starting to move mid. Gank in the mid lane allows Aatrox now to go up top lane. They got the switch that they've wanted.
Tain at full health, though. Now for Kwai at half. He's going to have to burrow. Just heal up super quick, because Tain's going to burst him before the Karma gets involved.
Oh, no.
Flash, another one, burn. Now to the bottom lane as Chris, the Blade Caller comes in, LWX onto RD. They want to follow up the Pike, but they've already won the straight.
RD just wants to move, please.
Doesn't want to be involved whatsoever. Tain just alphas Kwai once again, like game one, and shoves him out.
Please, I just want to move.
Oh.
He's getting just nailed down by a lot of the CC that have been thrown his way.
Yeah. Looks like we're set up for another tempo game here from FPX. Tain in the exact same position as we saw him last time in game one. Yuuki not up against the turret, but GimGoon's coming in.
There we go, but there's no wave here. You're going to have to go in now or never.
Misses as well. Repel's going to need to come up at half health. Yuuki can take him on. Chain lash out, but the tether doesn't end up rooting Tain down, so denied as LGD burn a summoner to get up top.
Yeah, that's a win for FPX, unless if anything happens here.
Down into the bottom lane, the jungle's here as well. Flash is there. Skewer doesn't land. Now for LWX, he has to outplay as he has the flash. Doesn't get the tether in as well. The root caller doesn't find the mark. Kwai now locks up Christmas. TP comes in.
No way.
Underneath the turret at half health. FPX, tempo's there. GimGoon onto Kwai once again. He spins. He wins. He finds first blood. A first blood responded though by LGD.
It's a lot of gold being thrown amongst everyone on LGD. Even though that was first blood by FPX going on towards Silas, it's a lot of assist gold on the side of them. So not sure who wins exactly because they also got top lane shoved out. So
that's a big wave getting denied here.
I'm pretty happy with what LGD got out of all of that one. I think at the end of the day, there are a few points that we can kind of discuss. That one's good. But the first point is the fact that FPX were able to get the TP on the top side of the map.
Yep.
So that was great. And it really now banked towards this play to see if LGD could get anything back. And so they got assist gold amongst the rest of them, just based off this teleport that came through when they were going on top of Chris. And top lane wave got completely shoved in the entire process. So we'll have to see if GimGoon can make the best of his first blood.
It's that kill for about 25 CS in the lead. As LGD move back to the bottom side, and they get an Infernal out of the longevity of the play as well, guys. So
there we go.
Big windows here now.
So far, Quay's getting, double thumbs up. I think I gave him first thumbs up last game.
You're giving him the Colonel, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. The Colonel double thumbs up is what I'm giving him now. Maybe we'll start moving to the star system.
Okay.
Double thumbs up and then 3 stars.
Depending on how this game goes, all right? We'll see.
But he's been doing a great job.
This is not good, RD.
God.
That happened very quickly. Not even level 6 on the bottom lane. Now for FPX, they can play into the top side as well. Pop Blossom for Pop Blossom, but Doinb turns into Heroic Angel. On top of Lies, he'll find himself. He dunks him for the kill. FPX, the turbo is on.
Just waiting for him to show his face. They had no idea where he was, and he loses a wave in mid lane. He's willing to make these risks.
And suddenly when these small shoves come out, now LGD losing out as Culling comes through from LWX. Doesn't have the flash available. Kwai doesn't have his summoner as well. And if that root landed, wow, you know LWX was going back in.
Yeah, this is a tough one here. FPX are starting to nail the same lead they had, at least very similar to game one, where Doinb is able to get a lot of these movements off and get these dives working. Remember, this dive was very easy. No teleport there for the side of LGD, expending it to make a defense on the same type of dive. So there we go, man. FPX really back in the rhythm.
And remember, we're still in lane yakety sax between the mid and the top lane as GimGoon trying to play that saxophone to the best of his ability with Live dodging away from the Abscond Abduct. But lane swaps continue to happen here with RD now roaming, Karma going back to the top side, Doinb at his mainstay, but GimGoon is calling the bluff.
And that's the one difference we're seeing from game 1 to game 3. RD is in the position that he's very comfortable in.
Yeah.
Movement that he's had, even though it hasn't turned into anything as of yet, he's in the right place at the right time. If there was another play to come through around the mid lane that FPX have been doing so frequently, he can be there to respond. So He isn't 6 just yet. A little unfortunate. I think he's a wave off of it, seeing Zadie Carey is doing a pretty good job on that one.
Yep.
So even if a fight was to happen mid lane, I think he would still be able to hit 6. Just comes down to the fact that he needs to hit it if he wants to have a great amount of ability to skirmish out at that point in the game. Really
hard to hit GimGoon though. The Silas, an annoying target to deal with if you're the Pyke. So now that he has Void Rush as well, a lot of kill threat onto Lies as Doinb goes back to the top lane. GimGoon stays mid against the Nico.
All right, you calm down. Like, yeah, sure, it's very difficult to get the GimGoon off of pick, but it's incredibly difficult to get Lies as well.
Also true.
So Nico and Silas, pretty difficult to touch. We've been seeing the amount of attempts at Lies' life that we've been seeing. And just take a look at Doinb. Constantly in the bush, working off a Fog of War. He's in the area just because, you know, Tain is doing this too, but he's caught out.
He wanted the control ward, he stayed for it, he gets greedy, he gets knocked up, and he pays for it with his life. Now for GimGoon in the mid lane, he's dealing with members on all sides. As RD finally comes in, Raz, I lied, GimGoon not as hard as we thought as the flash comes out. Culling as well, they lock him down. Death from below, but Kramer light slings him for the kill.
LGD starting to feel it. They have a series on their hands, man.
They're in it. 2
very real picks. Even if Doinb was leaning to help out Tain, at the end of the day, Tain was on his own. He didn't know that he had 2 people on him. He loses out in so much around Rift Herald now.
Ripple effect. Rift Herald now challenged here. Is RD going to be spotted out the back of the pit? But we'll look at Tain, who stayed and overplayed his hand.
Slow, coming through consistently, missed out in the cocoon. And even the bigger point about this entirely is that the entire discussion we've had about Pyke just being in the right place through mid finally pays off. They can now get the 2nd pick on GimGoon. They're right now sky high.
A lot of ults burned in that, but for LGD, very well worth it. Kramer in a lead, I'm sure we'll be discussing soon, but FPX still challenging as a flash mid-combo. The light beam comes down. Kwai gets shielded up, though. Chris has one of his own, but now he needs to survive through the ordeal because Kwai is just rippling through FPX. GimGoon in the middle of 3 members. He's going to get knocked up as well. Runs for his life. Scott ducked back in. Kingslayer to heal back up, but he's bitten off more than he can chew. LGD give 2 more kills to the jungler.
The sustain on him. He survived when he shouldn't have.
The Karma shield got him back to a good position. This is the power of Athene's Unholy Grail.
It's crazy to be able to see this. So close to losing that fight. And that was another gambit being done by FPX, losing mid lane waves upon mid lane waves, and they're still taking this fight.
They want to go again. Tain burns a flash because Kramer was there at the right place at the right time, and FPX throwing caution to the wind and sending everyone into the play 1 by 1.
They do not have a real answer here. FPX has their AD carry in the bot side of the map. They're trying to pick these fights. Take a look at this. Koi should have been gone.
That's why I play calm.
But take a look at this. Conqueror is being picked up. He sustains through all of this as well. Great kill to be able to pick up Chris. And from this point forward, you're right about Karma. Extra movement speed makes it super easy to be able to get onto the next target. And who touches you if you have that kind of shield?
You're almost to the 2-item spike here for Yuuki. Guess what's coming up next? You should know. Ardent Sensor there. And on a composition that has a Lucian scaled and Rek'Sai as well.
Run.
Look at the top side, Pop Blossom coming down, Tain and Doinb both move out of it. The cocoon doesn't land, lies before enough time, but no one else is coming. But Kramer, trade-off kill in the bottom lane. Now that's Dragon, that's bottom lane turret with full plating.
Yeah, what happened? You know, give me the full screen on this one. Don't give me the video for ants.
Yes, well
I want to see it fully. What actually happened on the bottom side of the map for Kramer to be able to pick up that kill. That's his 3rd kill, by the way. Okay, we're getting the ant video footage. Seems like surveillance footage says that he wasn't looking. Yeah.
Yep.
He literally walked right into them.
Because Pyke wasn't invisible there.
he
just walked into him. So
that happens though. That's the best thing about ProView, I will say, is that you get to see their perspective of like they're looking mid or top lane, and then suddenly their screen starts like flashing red, and you're like, what happened? I've done messed up.
I'd love to see it right now because Chris was once again on the roam while this bottom lane turret is getting chunked out. Now with the Rift Herald, this is a challenge for first turret blood. FPX, they get it, but only just.
There we go, man. But this game is really, like, if you look at the goal difference, it's going to be opening up for LGD simply because of this Rift Herald, but it's been pretty close up until this point.
4 members are down here, Raz. They want to commit for the play or the turret.
I mean, LGD have been doing a great job this series at committing to the right play. Now that they got this bottom lane turret opened up, remember, next dragon's going to be Ocean. It's going to be triple Dragon potentially here for LGD.
Again.
Exactly. They're in a great position for Dragons. Now, it's not nearly as beneficial as the last one. The last game was actually just OD for Dragons. They got literally everything they wanted. They did double Cloud, triple Mountain Dragon. But for this time, LWX is going back to what's comfortable. Look at turret gold. Turret plating gold that Lucian got.
All onto Kramer. 80 over to RD, you selfish person. But for Kramer, 720. I mean, that's the majority of turret plating.
He could have had 800 gold.
As it disappears, that's right. He's still got the pickaxe and the cloak of agility, so it looks like, what are we going for next, Red?
For who?
For Lucian.
Oh, right. Yeah, definitely Essence Reaper.
Okay, good.
1000% Essence Reaper.
Fantastic.
That's been the go-to build. People have actually been foregoing Black Cleaver. So they've been going into, of course, Rapid Fire Cannon almost immediately afterwards. Extra bit of range, I think, off that one. Just raw damage, I think, is a big plus. It just helps that you got that extra, crit
Plus,
chance.
went back to that extra 70 AD, if I'm not mistaken now, once again. Yep. And that mana back is always a nice touch.
So, big fan of it. Taking a look at what we're seeing right now from LGD positioning right now, it's just been so strong. Yep. They've just been rotating as a unit. It's very hard to actually walk into them.
They got full control of the river in this top side as well, where Kramer's started the push now onto GimGoon, who was having a good early game, but has fallen behind. Tain doing it again. Pike skewer there, death from below. Are you ready? We're going to see it again, but he repels up just in time. Quite now very low, doesn't have a Karma near him. Teleport in, Doinb, right place, right time, 600 gold for the taking.
Tain played that one so well, but Kramer, you got to leave.
Are you ready for the party of Aatrox culling there? Doinb is taking the full front as well. He's over the wall, dashes just in time. Kramer is ready for the 1v1.
Yeah, he was in it. He really wanted that fight. Maybe they can push for something more.
Wrong side. GimGoon's going at the top. RD and Kramer acting as a duo here. RD constantly on the move, though. That's how that play started.
And that's what I love about RD. Finally put in a position where he can succeed. Alongside Kramer, they've been playing a lot in solo queue when he first came out, so they've been doing well. They understand each other, what they want out of lane. And on top of that, RD, when he made that transition from an AD carry to a support, he really got comfortable. He picked up champions slowly. He started out with a lot of the enchanter supports. Yep. But now he's really moving in, finding his groove on a lot of these engage options. So there we go. I mean, remember, Quake comes into the team. He doesn't have any experience with them. But you're able to make plays like that. Unfortunately, couldn't cap it off, couldn't be able to finish it off with a kill. But it's not that it started off badly. That's still a great opportunity, and you want to continue to search for picks like that.
And even though Tain got picked out there, good timing on the rappel. Waited for that death from below. The one key ability that's just going to eliminate him and get through the shield that Crisp has been stacking up.
That's what makes it very hard for Pyke in that matchup. Whenever you're talking about, sure, she's very squishy, but the problem is, of course, you have to be able to understand repel time.
Yep.
You can repel as a reaction to the Pyke ultimate.
Speaking of reaction,
that's unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Tain's here as well. Now, how can Flies play this?
Get away from me. Don't touch me.
Tangabob's out, Cocoon out as well. Here comes the burst, but into the golden age of time itself. Tain denies that. Doinb jumps under turret, but Tain's the one who picks it up.
Just trying to buy as much time as possible. He just knew you're going to die in that situation.
Yeah. That means Tain has full access to this bottom side. RD on the roam once again, but here we go. Steal it. Yeah, saw it coming. Level 8 as well. Take
Cash money. What's up? Has a level advantage over Crisp as you were referencing. So, right now, RD is flying high.
Yep.
He's getting to a great position for himself. As long as he actually can join these fights, can get the execution. That's what we're waiting for. That first execution, the one he got missed out on Tain, he can get something. LWX, watch yourself.
It's his turn, has the feathers to fly, sends it out. The blade call is spread thin, but doesn't pull it in just yet. RD and Kwai staying together towards the Ocean Dragon seems to be the next go.
You have to be disciplined if you're FPX. 3 members of your team were back at base. For LWX, you were alone in that case. So no ultimate there sets you up for this dragon.
Easily taken here by LGD. No one nearby. Tain on the other side of the red buff right now. So Ocean, the dice gets rolled. And Raz, we see a Mountain coming up next and a team that is slightly ahead. This seems to be the game we were waiting for. No one in a commanding position just yet.
But it's just a tough call for the members that matter, and I'm talking about Tain. Tain tried to be able to pick up the Elise for the early portions of the game. Denied. Doesn't have that lead there for GimGoon and Doinb. So now you're really banking on GimGoon. What kind of ultimate? Can he get a perfect Nico ultimate onto the enemy team?
Yep.
But LWX has just been getting bullied a lot of these fights, so they can't even pick up these fights on an even footing.
That was Mantra Inspire you, so you can see the potential of LGD going in or taking the disengage like they're doing now. For FPX, look at the item spikes that are coming through. Right now, still dangerous if LGD run into them, because the Death Dance Aatrox has just been picked up by Doinb.
An insane amount of sustain, of course, the damage taken that you can get off of that one, being converted into dot.
Yep.
Like, that just makes the champion that much more seemingly tankier in fights, without even the ultimate being expended. The moment the ultimate expended, you need an Executioner's Calling to deal with that.
No one just of yet. 2 items on the 80 carry there of LGD, but we're building up. Good pick
Goodbye.
onto RD. Tain secures the kill, his 3rd one, and picks like that onto RD are what giving FPX the ability to just move into the jungle, take the red buff, it's mine.
Check your watch. 20 minutes on the dot. Baron coming up, and you've just lost your support. Tough times to be able to do that. FPX have somehow managed to come back into this one.
And immediately, snap your fingers, look towards the top side. Tain stands still near the wreck side, but they've got full vision control. They're looking for another pick for LGD to make another mistake.
Oh, no.
Or maybe Tain to make the mistake. Goes Golden, has a repel available. LWX walks up, but he's not going to use it just now. So saved by the bell, it seems, here for the jungler.
That was just a great GLP usage, of course. Something you have to look out for. The consistent pick potential coming out from FPX with the Lux Light Binding, Tain Cocoon, and of course, GimGoon's Abscond of Duck. We haven't seen too much of it in this game, but that's a possibility. And if you see from LGD, Yuuki is just always in the right position there. And of course, Nico, Lai is always looking, hunting for an X-Tech GLP usage.
Right place, right time seems to be the theme as Chris has the flash burned out. That beam goes down 5 though, Raz. And now with the Pop Blossom, it only finds Tain, who almost gets bursted out purely with that. GimGoon comes into the side, Wise is dead. Now to the next target as Doinb flashes on in, has the World Ender, and the end of worlds now for LGD. Doinb gets taken off. Somehow the Ignite picks over, but FPX still want RD. They flash onto him, GimGoon into the E itself.
Perfect timing. The last tick, just as Doinb's passive expired.
Yeah.
That's insane to be able to see that. Now, he's off the field for 20 seconds. Get a lot off of this if you're LGD.
Turret first. Let's keep going, because remember, that's an Ardent Sensor Karma now, so Kramer is smacking these turrets super quick.
2 turrets immediately. Actually changes the game quite a bit around.
Oh, D found LWX. Instant flash in from the pike, and they're coming! LGD are up for good reason.
Hit by every bullet of that culling. I don't know what we're going to, but I'm going to like what I see. RD takes a lot of damage off this, but the fact that he is able to get out of that one scot-free and still be able to keep himself alive and back up in HP, great. I thought it was going to be looking good. But obviously, in the position that we're in, you cannot take this fight. And look at Doinb from this point forward. Look how close he is to being able to make use of his passive ult.
Yeah.
So, boom!
And the Prey Seeker.
So close to being able to revive.
Yes. And you know what? So hard to kill this team of LGD. You saw Doinb running in, but always negated by Agent 007 in the mid lane. Yuuki, his 2 items now, his needlessly large rod. The Karma is just carrying the weight. But there's no weight of LGD, so they're as light as a feather.
I mean, sure. I mean, that's just easy then. You be walking around. You know, that's...
You
set me up and you're like, oh, what kind of weight is it? Oh, nothing. So,
I think Kwai is surprising me with this game 3.
He's playing real well. I think with the Ardent Sensor that we're seeing right now, Kramer is going to be the primary focus for this team. Already has a rapid fire cannon. Next item is going to make it for him. So we're at a stage right now for LGD there. I think their composition is going to do quite well dealing with the Aatrox at hand. The gambit that we were talking about seems like it's close to paying off. It's going to pay off.
Around the next dragon, no doubt, because it's a mountain. LGD had the inner track on mid lane, so they could choose to keep pushing this, force FPX and get position on river, or they could just head there straight now.
Let's take a look at LWX's item. He's just been not having a good game here.
Again, is he being picked out? Bone Skewer, Karma walks forward, gets the stun. Yuuki, aggressive as always.
He has like 1.5 items right now. Good slow.
Mantra Inspire comes through once again. The shield wears off the Ardent Sensor, building up.
LGD right now should just move towards Baron. I mean, Dragon's up and available, so okay, you can stall that out a little bit more. Pick up Dragon, get yourself a mountain, recontrol mid lane so you can get another shove there, and then start playing towards Baron, because at this stage in the game, you are so souped up. FPX cannot walk through that kind of terrain and meet you at the open area of the river.
They didn't even go near it. And Infernal coming up next. They get the litter, all right, LGD. And they want to go towards the Baron with the 2k gold lead, all the elementals under their wing. And for FPX, they do not have full ward coverage.
The only issue I see right now for FPX is, of course, the fact that LWX has taken a long time to getting to his items now. Finally has his Infinity Edge. He's been trying to build up to that point. He's been getting bullied pretty consistently. Not only do we have a 40 CS lead there for Kramer, but he has 4 kills to his name. That's the only reason why I look at that and you're like, wow, 3 items to the 2 items here for LWX.
Yep.
And even past that point, we haven't been able to see LWX use his items because he's getting poked out and picked off by RD.
He's been forced to use the ultimate, otherwise it's down, caught.
The ultimate, the flash. He doesn't even have his flash if there was ever going to be a fight here for Baron. So he's going to be screwed.
Every exchange. You look at the amount of CC that can lock him down on that side, and you expect to see that QSS, you know, the Pike, Yuuki with the Sun on W and Karma. Don't forget Lies with the Tangle Buff, so I'm expecting that QSS to come through as the next item, depending on what FPX want to prioritize here. It's the fight into the side of the Baron Raz. Yuki's being caught. Beam again. Doinb gets Yuuki, and now FPX have an advantage 5 versus 4.
Baron game. Lies is now looking towards this side of the map because he has to start thinking about his teleport. FPX are not going to go for it, but man, could they play that game now?
They backed away. Couple of members disappeared. RD's on the hunt.
Yeah, I was thinking pick on to Chris would be beneficial. Go to actually. I think you can get a lot off that one.
Yeah.
If you want to try for Chris, remember he has flash so he can play that game, but I don't think you want to play that game and lose your flash before a Baron fight even begins.
LGD have regained priority back in the river. RD spotted out there with a volatile Spiderling, but GimGoon in a good flanking position here on the level 13 Silas, who has been so quiet farming away. Now has the Luden's Echo, but LGD got other plans. Baron begins here in game 3.
We're going for a nice pick.
Great cocoon from Tain. They just take down the Nico. Now, I talked about the flanking position here from GimGoon, but he doesn't need to use it. They get a pick once again.
As soon as Yuuki comes up, another member goes down. They needed to be able to play towards the Baron, but man, they're getting being pulled around.
Tain's cocoon coming in mighty fine here in game number 3. FPX, they go to the mid turret. They can break this open, get the shove, and then regain control.
Yeah, now they're going to play that game. Now, they may not have a dragon in their name. They don't have any mountains or anything, but members all the same. That's a Pike ultimate that now GimGoon has available to him. They're going to go for it.
10 seconds until Lies respawns. They can do this quickly, or they can send Quay out from the back of the pit. Chris going for zone control. Doinb sends in an Infernal Chains, but FPX is zoned out.
You know FPX, they want that fight. They want to feel the knuckles on your face.
But they're playing safer than ever here. One slip up, one mistake could mean the end.
Because it's so easy for Kramer to actually walk in now. Rapid fire cannon to his name. I could always kind of sift in and out of a fight with, of course, has his dash up, flash available. There's a lot that he has, you know, in that fight that you're kind of concerned with dealing with. So
yep.
I understand FPX wanting to back away because if they were stalled by any bit of the imagination, and Lies teleports in, Nico ultimate available, they just lose that out.
Really rough seeing that QSS in Kramer's inventory. You go, well, so many elements of control now given to the AD carry, and for LWX, he's trying to catch up, get that 3rd item himself. But at the moment, you're looking at Doinb because he's got that 3rd item, and his core is going to be a big difference as Tain needs to dodge away. He's sending one back himself.
Yeah, right now I'm just looking at Yuuki. He's been without Rabadons for quite some time. He's got the components for himself. If he's able to get it, then they just have such an immeasurable shield.
He hasn't been picking up CS though, so that's why Doinb's got such a lead.
It's tough. Just as tough as this. Lies, you got to get out now, dog.
Now, GimGoon doesn't have the ultimate, but hang on, maybe Lies can take this. GimGoon goes into a Scott Duck. Kramer joins the fight. That's unfair. It was a 1v1, Kramer. You absolute... Not even going to give him the word.
I'll give him a gremlin.
Gremlin.
We're getting right now GimGoon down. First time in a long time the FPX have lost that member amongst, you know, crucial buff alive, available. LGD have been trying to go for this Baron buff hunt for a while now.
Now with the Mountain Dragon, and there's an Infernal spawning. Now remember,
okay,
LGD could play the back and forth game rush.
You're going to turn the wheels now. I'd say move away from Baron, at least have vision on him. This is going to be the trick. A lot of teams have done this. Actually, Vici Gaming a lot the last split. Something that made you love this team, actually. If you're going for the Dragon, they turn, they change the dime on you. They go towards Baron.
Yeah.
So they're in position for a reason.
They're doing it right.
Go for Dragon. You mess up once, they're going to start on the objective.
You're a sorcerer. There's the teleport coming in. Yuuki scanning for vision, but they're going to find a team doing the Baron buff.
They're on it, though.
Inspire shield comes through. 5K. Chris zoned on the edge, on the outskirts. Kramer starts culling away.
2K.
Yuuki behind the pit. The steal comes in. Kwai doesn't get the steal. I was going to welcome him properly, but the beam comes through. They get the jungler. Comes down with the pop blossom from Live. LGD turn for the fight, but Doinb hasn't reached it. Flushes on top of RD. And Kramer. Doinb super carry lives again.
They're going to be hunting Yuuki. Can he get out of this one alive? He's on the wrong side of the map. I don't care what happens. You've lost it all.
Looking for the movement speed to make his grand escape. But
Chris is booking it.
He's coming fast.
Get over
Yuuki
here.
trying to waste some time. They've got so many turrets to break through that FPX. With this Baron, they can't end. But Yuuki can at least save some time.
But take a look at mid lane. Right now, obviously, the juiciest target is going to be the execution from Yuuki, but they're already moving towards mid. Already took that inner tower. They got themselves a Baron. A huge turn in this game right now by FPX.
5-1 and 4. The Aatrox, I know when we go back, will be the person I'm looking at here for Doinb. Level 17. And as soon as that World Ender passive was activated, he was in like Flynn. And now for someone like RD, he wants those picks, but it gets even more dangerous that FPX picked up that Infernal Dragon, have a 5K gold lead, and won this fight.
I just want to watch this in awe, because by the time LGD are ready for this fight to happen, it's already at 2k HP. You're now being put in a 50-50 situation for Baron. You're not going to go for it. So really tough that LGD has had control for such a long time. Nice reaction to this, by the way. Real good reaction to deal with that Nico ult.
Yeah. That flash final Q is what did it as well.
But
RD
it's the
Kramer.
call.
Yeah.
The call to go on Baron when the extra objective of Infernal Dragon is up and available. Not only do FPX win out on the fight, last out in the team fight that ensues, they pick up that nice Infernal that started this whole thing to begin with.
They're going to channel it right down the mid lane. You can see the inner turret was already taken there before. The replay, top, bottom, and even mid. Only thing left are inhibitor turrets FPX is set up with these waves.
At the end of the day, a lot of the newer teams or teams that are growing, and I know we're going to get to a fight, it always comes down to the idea of denial versus being able to obtain something new. If you have a lead, you don't need to deny an extra dragon.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah, pause for a second, Razen. Sorry, LWX might be caught out here. Cullen comes out. They've got the 80 carry. LGD aren't done just yet.
Yeah, let's see if they can get anything more. I think they'll just stop at
Kwai
this.
wants to go in, flashes onto Chris, puts the Void Rush on the works in the back line. Kwai now disappearing, but the Pop Blossom comes down. 3 members it finds. Kramer hitting away, but Doinb still lives, charging down the 80 carry. Everybody flash. Everybody's a winner from FPX, as Doinb can't be stopped. The solo lanes, the jungler, they are what remains for a bloody good reason.
He's huge. It looked great for LGD, but the big must at the end of the day was super carry Doinb's Aatrox.
32 minutes, 30 seconds. FPX maintain their legacy here in the LPL. LGD will always be that team that took them to a Game 3, but FPX, once again, as they take down the rookie jungler, show that they can't be stopped here in summer.
What a great series to cap off tonight's games, because it was back and forth. And while FPX came out of this series scathed, they lost the game on this series. At the end of the day, they're no longer undefeated in terms of just games, right? They're still undefeated in series because they ended up picking this one up. But if we're talking about who is undefeated in this series, Aatrox, my friend.
Yes.
2-0. They made the gambit. They lost in the end. It sucks to be able to see how those fights pan out if you're LGD. With you, it seems like you played it out well, but there's one monster that's still rolling, still trucking. That's the Aatrox.
Right in the mid lane. Doinb had a monstrous performance to go with the champion, and he's all grins, but the rest of FPX, you can see some solemn looks on the faces, and they hold themselves to such a high standard that after that series, they'll go back to the drawing board.
Not only did they feel, of course you're going to feel pretty bad about this victory if you're FPX, because you look across the aisle and you see not only just LGD as a team that hasn't been making playoffs, but also a wounded LGD, a team without that, finals MVP of Kandi. The fans were also heavily in favor of LGD coming into this one.
Yeah.
So out of all of that, you couldn't silence them. You know, the drums were banging. Kui came in strong. And on top of that, Yuuki and Kramer. Kramer had an insane performance, another one of his.
He had an insane series. Like, Kramer was, apart from game 1, I'd say, game 2 and game 3, Kramer performed out of his right mind.
And I think it's going to be tough for people out there to kind of come to the realization that a player who is as good as Kramer is put in a situation that's just consistently unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know, they've done so well. FLICKR Freak side comes over, and of course, really trying to get the engines rolling for LGD. And this was supposed to be that split. Maybe it still is. Who knows, right? Right now, they're 2-3. Two's victories, still fine. It's a great position to start in.
Yep.
It's just unfortunate of all the circumstances surrounding the series. And even to cap the series off, they could have won this one out 2-1. Didn't happen.
But having said that, when past series for LGD, there's always such a solemn focus on Kramer. Solemn's the wrong word to use, but I'll continue. Now this series, people like RD, Yuuki, new jungler Quay.
Look,
Like, it's exciting.
look, I agree. It's very exciting to see these individual players be able to showcase their strength consistently.
Yeah.
And I think what we just need to see is that level of coordination. And in this game, of course, you could nail on the pick and ban. I think that's something that I've done pretty heavily. But also just the coordination around those team fights, that at the end of the day, you're going up against one of the best teams in the league. You have to be perfect. You have to be. And so I'll go back to that same point, because I kind of butchered it at the end. It's more so the idea of denying versus obtaining something. If you're a team that has a pretty confident foothold of the game, you want to deny more than you can obtain.
Yes.
Because if they are able to sit around Baron, but it doesn't matter if Infernal Dragon wins. Give Infernal Dragon FPX. They're a team that's not in the position to be able to take that victory.
Right.
You have yourself a Baron buff, you win, right? That's the idea, that you want to be able to deny objectives because you're in a great position. Even if you don't take Baron and just deny that from them and just continue on with your leads and pushing through mid lane. That's something that I wouldn't want to see. But obviously, they take that one risk. One window where Baron buff wasn't warded, they started shifting towards Dragon, it all gets thrown away.
Earlier in the split, remember, week 4 only, going up against FPX is a good time to judge LGD, but I think going forward, this is still development, still growth into a team that we thought would be set back 100 years.
Yeah, at some point, the members will start being unhappy with the idea of development. Like, you're talking about Yuuki and Kramer. Yuuki is gone of the days of his, rookie split or rookie year. Spinning for, like, it's going to be a second time round, and you start seeing Kramer, who wants to start seeing results.
That's right.
And so I think they're that team that's making that shift. They're making that shift from being the developmental squad to a real playoff contender. And I think that the mix-ups that they've been having in this week, I hope they come right back up. I hope that, they finally put some games underneath Quay, their new jungler, so they can be confident with the games around him.
I like Quay. I think Quay looks good. Like, for his first series in the LPL, I'm pleasantly surprised.
I think under the circumstances, players like RD and Yuuki and Kramer really excelled in the situation that they were in to be able to kind of rein in new jungler without any experience with the team here or in practice. So good job to them. Of course, all of that praise to the team that lost the series. So I'm going to definitely refocus towards it, FPX, because I think they were pushed a lot. LWX certainly was having a tough game. Yeah. And that just happens. But I think, keeping his mental strong in that situation is worthwhile. Yeah, man. I think both Crisp and Doinb kept them in it 100%. Those team fights were just difficult to be able to traverse if you're LGD, so big win there.
It wasn't just the Aatrox pick in this series. The Lux pick was very big in this series.
Yeah.
Lux pick was monumental. And as we saw in Game 1 for PYL, it was a recovery method. But in that final game, especially for Crisp, even Game 2 for Crisp,
Lux is just a strong pick. Especially if you have Elise in your midst, and Elise generally seen as a champion that really, but that's the idea, right? Because Elise tends to fall off as the game goes on. You need to start really honing in on pick that is. And so the idea of not being able to move. Suddenly, if you catch that rascal Pike, he's staying there. How can I leave? There's one fight where he ended up leaving with just like about 20 HP, so he was able to regen all of that. But since that point, he was getting erased. Actually happened multiple times around Baron buff. Because LGD wanted to be on that pit for a while now.
We spent a long time in that game around Baron buff.
But then Yuuki died. Then Lies died. And that just kept happening. And that had to start really jabbing at LGD, that frustration.
Also, a big part of that was because that Tain actually had a recovery into the mid to late game. Because in that early game, he got caught out several times.
And so it's tough when you're that team. You taste it. You know, you feel like you're about to pick it up. Your fans are there too.
The crowd were pumped.
They're picking up that whatever it is. Start banging on the drum. You don't see that happening.
Nah.
That's why I say bang on that damn drum in game 1 or in the end of game 3.
Get him going. Get him going.
Okay, fine. If you want to say in between series, that's cool. We get the blood pumping. But I never like the idea of celebrating too early.
I agree.
Don't celebrate too early.
No, I reckon just go for it anyway.
What?
Anyway, we're going to go back to game 1 because game 1, Doinb looked great. Game 3, Doinb looked great. Let me tell you who got MVP in this game. It was probably Doinb.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, why? Because this Aatrox just smacked those last 2 fights as well.
Aatrox won 2 MVPs this series.
It did.
Just wanted you guys to know.
So
that.
if you're wondering why Aatrox is normally banned,
pick Aatrox anywhere, and if you win that game, you get moments like these.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that Koi, survived longer than he should have. Karma's helped him out. It made the game a lot longer, but of course by the time RD diffed so far in the back to be able to get the kill on Chris, the team fight's already lost. Like, Doinb's able to just power through these. Yeah, so.
I mean, late game and league, no one talks about it, but it's still that much damage.
So it's one of those snowballing factors. There was we even called out for a possible pickup on any like healer reduction items.
Yeah.
And we see anything.
That's right.
So like we just needed to see something. We saw in Series 1 where SMLZ was able to pick up Executioner's Calling really early on. And that was to deal with the Yuuki lane. But this game we definitely needed something.
yeah, we definitely did.
So it's tough. Congratulations to Aatrox. Hope he does well in the future series.
Congrats to FPX, because that's a 5-0 start into the LPL.
And Aatrox.
And the roll keeps running on. And to Aatrox as well. Congratulations to Aatrox. Let's pull up standings, because it's
Where's
FPX.
Aatrox on the standings?
He's right there. Top 5-0.
He's number 1.
He's number 1.
All right, yeah. 5-0 right now for FPX alongside RNG. Ooh, and you know what I'm going to say about that?
Someone's got to die.
What?
This weekend.
Yeah, I know. I just was very grim, my friend.
Oh, someone's going to die. Someone's going down.
I just want to continue on the roll of, like, we still have a few undefeated teams here. So
Yep.
Top Esports and LNG still rolling, still trucking. Remember now, LGD's next opponent's going to be LNG week 5, day 2. So good luck there. Not only are they facing the undefeated FPX, but they got to roll on towards dealing with the undefeated LNG. It's kind of tough for them. But this is when I want to, ask the people in the back to throw up that one screen that I like to see, being our match of the week.
Yeah, let's get that match of the week going up.
Because FPX versus RNG, you tell me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we're showing the mid lane here after what we just saw with Doinb. Xiaohu's playing some ridiculous League of Legends as well, so why not favor those
Boom!
two?
And it's always fun to at least have a goal, right? That goal being end of week. You want to be able to. And although it's nice to be seen as a team that has, is undefeated, it feels that much better to be a team that knocks down an undefeated team.
Yes.
LGD almost got that.
And you literally take the temporary crown as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, there's still a few undefeated teams that just don't have games underneath them.
Temporary crown.
It's not a temporary crown.
It's that much more temporary.
We'll see when we get there.
All right.
By the end of the week, we'll find out if LNG is holding on to that crown.
we're going to find out tomorrow, Raz, right?
By the end of the week.
By the end of the week.
But yeah, you're right. Tomorrow, of course, we're going to be seeing LNG versus WE, OMG versus Rogue Warriors.
See, that's a good one, because I like OMG. And I know you got some words about OMG as well.
That they're not as good as Rogue Warriors?
No, just... I think OMG is great at the moment.
Crystal and Hudia have been a fantastic pickup. Curse! I know you love Curse.
It's been a fantastic pickup.
Very good.
Yeah.
But they need more than that. So I think Rogue Warriors still take that one. But LNG versus Team WE is going to be a big one. Whenever Team W goes up against a team that is vastly outperforming, then they tend to play up. So I expect CA and Mystic try and do something here. So and I expect WE don't bench Mystic.
Yes.
That's my only
Well
thing.
said, Barento Raz Bahamas.
Thank
well
you.
said. Use your full name so you know I respect
Jake.
you. Let's go to the
Thanks,
next.
Austin.
It should be Saturday coming up here as well. That's day 3. This is tomorrow.
What do we got?
We've broken it.
It's gone.
It's broken.
Boom!
There we go.
That's what I like to see.
So
now this is Saturday.
Yes.
This is Saturday going way up, and this is what I love about this week, because you get 2 marquee matchups. And I'm talking about JD. No.
I mean, that one was
Invictus Gaming and Top Esports. Stop it. Stop it. IG versus Top Esports is the matchup you should be watching.
Yep.
That was the match that started the spring split. Invictus Gaming took down Top Esports, so it was a hype matchup. You got to see best mid laners going up against each other. I don't know what's happening with Rookie. We'll get more updates on that one.
Yep.
But the one I want to see also is the Shy, who's up to snuff, back on top, going up against 369.
There's been some whisperings on their Weibo as well about Duke, coming in, but I'm like, I'm not sure I'll believe it when I see it. However, that's it for us here tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Brent Raz Muhammad for dealing with me as always. Thank you to our production team. My name's Hysterix. This time I won't thank myself. We'll see you next Saturday for the start of the English broadcast of the LPL. It's bye for now, but not forever.